What's up, guys? I'm here with another video, and today we are going to be talking about my top five favorite movies. This channel is all about movies and what my predictions and what I think of these new movies and everything. But big question I get a lot is what are my top five movies, and I can never really truly answer that. But I do have a top five, and I do want to break down those movies and talk about them. If you haven't seen them, check them out. But of course, hit that subscribe button, that like button, notification button. Hit, leave a comment, and let's jump into it. But first, I do want to say, yesterday we lost a truly one of the greats, Sean Connery. He passed away at 90 yesterday in his sleep in his home in Bahamas. And when you die at 90, you've lived a good life, and he definitely has. I mean, the original Bond. He's he was definitely what Daniel Craig and Pierce Bronson they looked up to when they were first getting into their their Bond. And it's very sad, but definitely want to say rest in peace. And he was one of the best, and thank you for all the movies and the moments and the scenes you gave us. They were some of the best, iconic, and granted, wish we could have another Sean Connery movie because he was just that amazing. But thank you for uh, what you gave us, and yeah. So let's jump into it. Right, I'm going to talk about my top five. It's not a specific order about here's number five, four. I'm just gonna say the five because I don't really have them in a specific order. It was just my top five. And the first one we talk about is Whiplash. It is Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. If y'all haven't seen this movie, this is probably one of the most intense dramas I've ever seen. And it's about Miles Teller who starts taking this drumming class, and J.K. Simmons is the teacher. And once he finally, gets a class in, he realizes that J.K. Simmons is this aggressive, very strict, very hard teacher. It's like no matter what you do, it doesn't please him. And I mean, it is intense. I mean, the screaming, the cussing in your face. It is truly crazy to watch. But J.K. Simmons won Best Supporting Actor for this role, and he crushes it. No one else deserved this award than him. I think if anybody was going to take the award from him, it would be Robert Duvall from The Judge. But even still, Robert killed it in that one. But when you have J.K. Simmons in a role like this, it is one of those. It is one of those awards, like this past year for Brad Pitt, Once Time in Hollywood, for this same award, Best Supporting Actor. There's no other way. There's no other way you could go with that. Because Brad Pitt, no one could beat Brad Pitt all across the board. Meaning he won Golden Globes, he won everywhere for this award. And J.K. Simmons was kind of the same way. When you look at the five nominees, people were like, "Oh, J.K. Simmons is going to win this," and he did. He definitely deserves it. Miles Teller was great too. I wouldn't be surprised somewhere if he was nominated for Best Actor because you know what, he was really good. But the way the supporting actor J.K. Simmons, the way he just crushed it on the scene, it overpowered Miles Teller's performance, and it turned out to be a J.K. Simmons movie. So it was absolutely crazy. I mean, it was just mind-boggling to see this drum teacher just completely crap on all his students, and like even if they were good or not, he would just crap down their throats and be like, just yell at them and just basically tell them that they're worthless and all this other stuff. But it was absolutely insane. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, this was nominated for Best Picture, and it was definitely deserving too because this movie just it kind of just left you with like, wow, what did I watch? It did not win that year, but it was definitely a good one. It was definitely a good one. Um, so the second one is A Star Is Born. This came out a couple years ago. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, Sam Elliott. It also had a supporting role with Dave Chappelle. Uh, this movie was awesome. This is truly one of my favorites. If I had to pick one out of these five, it would probably be this one. But I remember I saw this in theaters with my dad, and I don't cry during movies. I really don't. I've teared up during one or two, but the closest I've gotten to cry in a movie is this one. This movie was absolutely incredible, and just Bradley Cooper took him like a few years to work on this project. He directed it. It was his first time he directed, and not only was he new in the directing chair, but he had a film debut for Lady Gaga. So kind of everything was kind of new, but they made this masterpiece. And it did not win Best Picture. Green Book won. I have noticed though, my top five have all been won or been nominated for Best Picture. I was totally a coincidence, but no, like this, the chemistry of Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. You really thought in real life they were gonna go for it in a relationship because the chemistry was just absolutely incredible. Of course, the soundtrack was perfect. Shallow, one of the best. But you also have I'll Never Love Again. That was a great one. So, like, everything about this movie was just perfection from the directing, from the casting, from the writing. Fun fact one of the producers on the movie was Todd Phillips, who directed Joker, and who was a producer on the movie Joker was Bradley Cooper. And they've worked a bunch of times with the Hangover movies and all this stuff. So they're really good friends. So I do like that, they produce each other movies and they help each other out still. But Sam Elliott was just such a oh, I can't even explain how I loved Sam Elliott in this movie. But Bradley Cooper's acting was just better than ever, because I thought one of his best was American Sniper, but then he crushes it with this one. And they got Lady Gaga's debut, and she was just a force to be reckoned with. And I really think she's got a future in acting. I really want her in more movies. She hasn't. I don't think she's been in one since. I think this is the only movie she's in. She was nominated for an Academy Award. I really wanted her to win. I really did, but Olivia Colman won for the favorite. But no, I just love this movie. I mean, Bradley Cooper is this. It's just this drug addicted uh, country star that's kind of fading away, and then instead of working on his career, trying to have a comeback, he falls in love with Lady Gaga and helps her kickstart her career. And it's just a movie about it's just love and just not letting addiction overcome him, which it was starting to. But man, this movie though was just extremely one of the best of the year. I mean, don't get me wrong, Green Book was amazing, But A Star is Born was just something unlike anything we've seen in years, and I really think A Star is Born can be one of the best movies of the last decade, because that movie was just so strong and so powerful and just so amazing in every aspect. Number three, I would have to say Forrest Gump. Won Best Picture back in the 90s. Tom Hanks is one of his best movies ever. Was this movie, hands down. I love Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is just this funny but also sad movie. That's just. I don't even have to. I'm not even going to explain the plot for Forrest Gump because everyone should know Forrest Gump. Everyone's probably seen it. If you haven't seen it, I know you've heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, you need to not live under a rock anymore, because this movie is one of the best of all time. I truly love this movie. I really do. But no, I mean, like, I've always wanted to go as Forrest Gump for Halloween, and last year I did, and that was the one year that it rained too, so I wasn't able to truly fully go Forrest Gump, and which sucked, but I still loved walking around with the box. I bought me a box of chocolates as well. And but it was so fun. But no, so I think what I love most about this movie is the impact that it has on people. I mean, this came out in the 90s and we are in 2020. So it's been years and years since this movie came out. And here we are. You know, I mean, we're like 25 years later after this movie came out, around there. People still talk about this movie, and people still talk about how incredible it is and how timeless it is. No matter when is it on TV, it can be in the middle of the night, it can be during the day, in the morning. People are going to watch this and watch it because it's just that type of classic. Number four would be Dances with Wolves, won Best Picture, the first Best Picture winner of the 90s. I love Kevin Costner, and he directed this movie too. And I think some of his last few movies over the years, they get decent reviews, but a lot of people crap on them in some way. I don't think they're that bad. But I think one of his greatest achievements is this movie. This movie is a 3-hour epic. I mean, just the relationship between him and the Indian was just, everything about this movie was just, stellar. And he definitely deserved all the acclaim. And I know that he's tried directing since that movie and never lived up to this one, because this one you couldn't top. I mean, you really couldn't. He was just that amazing, directing and acting wise. I mean, his acting was just mwah. But I absolutely love that movie, Dances with Wolves. Um, but it was just, So for my fifth one, two of my favorite directors are Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino. And I was trying to pick one between the other as one of the movies for my fifth spot, because I love both of their movies. I really do, and I came to the conclusion of Martin Scorsese's The Departed. And I love The Departed. I mean, it has the best cast ever. I mean, not only is it directed by this legend, but you have, listen to this, you have Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, you have Matt Damon, you have Supporting roles too. You have Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Anderson, Alec Baldwin. It's produced by Brad Pitt. Everything about this was Oscar, 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 and it was right. And you're so right, because look what it won. It won Best Picture. It won Best Director. It won Best Screenplay. So it won everything it was thrown at. And this truly is one of his classics. Yes, Goodfellas, and yes, Raging Bull. You have so many movies of Martin Scorsese. In the near future, I'm going to do a review. A video of my rankings of Martin Scorsese movies, and I'm going to do it for Quentin Tarantino as well. But no, The Departed was just something like, I remember when I first saw it. My dad was talking to me about when I was first getting the Oscars. He said, I think we own a few Best Pictures already. And I said, really? He said, yeah. And then we were going through our movies, and I said, I think I've seen this on the list. He said, have you seen this movie? He said, no. And he put it in. He said, this is one of the best movies ever. And he was right. It really was. I love Leo. I love Matt Damon. Everybody in this movie was perfect. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's just truly one of the best. Cannot believe how many times he's been nominated for an Oscar, and he only won once. And that was just recently, a few years ago, for the 2015 movie The Revenant. But he's just absolutely a perfect actor. If you want to be a perfect actor, look at Leo, because he does it. He walks it. He's absolutely amazing. Matt Damon is such a good actor. I think he's underrated at sometimes. He's more than Jason Bourne for sure. I love him in The Martian. I think one of his best of the past few years is Ford versus Ferrari from last year. I saw that in theaters, and that truly was amazing. But no, the Departed, Jack Nicholson. I really wish we can get one more movie out of him, but I know that he is enjoying retirement. But no, just everything Martin Scorsese did in this movie for this movie was truly how he should do it for every movie. I know a lot of people might disagree with me because this movie is crazy, but The Wolf of Wall Street is not far from how amazing The Departed is. The Wolf of Wall Street, yes, it is known for some of the most craziest drug scenes, sex scenes, most cussing, most nudity. It has every rule breaker in it, but it is absolutely amazing. Leonardo DiCaprio works with Martin Scorsese, so to this day, they're doing a movie. They're filming a movie in the beginning of next year. Him and Robert De Niro, and I cannot wait for that movie. I really can't. When you see a Martin Scorsese movie or a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, even a Quentin Tarantino movie, when you see one of their movies coming up, you'll be like, oh, Best Picture nominee right there. And I said that last year, the day after the 2019 Oscars. Right after Green Book won for Best Picture. I said, all right, let's do what. And I saw Once Time in Hollywood, and I saw The Irishman, and I'm like, oh, they're both going to be nominated. And guess what? They both were. But no, I absolutely love The Departed. I love A Star Is Born, Whiplash, Forrest Gump, Dances with Wolves. If those movies are ever on TV, I'm definitely going to watch them. I have them all, so there's no need to watch them on TV when I have them. But it was just, I absolutely love these movies. These are some of my favorites. I do have some honorable mentions. Um, I mean, you can't go wrong with the Godfather trilogy. You'd be surprised of how so many people. I know a couple people that say that they don't like that trilogy. It's too long or too boring. But to me, that's what makes it so amazing, is how long it is. And yes, some of the slow scenes in there. To me, though, that's what makes Godfather work. You also have Raging Bull, Martin Scorsese, Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro. Absolutely love this black and white '80s boxing biopic. Martin Scorsese when Robert De Niro gave him the Raging Bull book, he read it and just kind of said, this is a piece of crap. But then he went back to it. And Raging Bull is now one of the best movies ever made. I just think that's so amazing how, like Marcia says, he wasn't on board at first. He didn't want to do this. But I'm glad he did. But no, so my honorable mentions that trilogy, and you also have, so you have the Godfather trilogy, you have Raging Bull, and I think the last honorable mention I'll say, I have a bunch of them, but I'll just say one more. And there's just so many. I absolutely love Saving Private Ryan. You can't go wrong with that war movie with Tom Hanks. That was truly one of the masterpieces of the end of the 90s. People still talk about that movie today, which is absolutely amazing. But you know, Steven Spielberg is one of the best directors ever. I mean, truly ever. I mean, if you really want to talk about best franchises, you gotta talk about Back to the Future. You know, um, but those are some honorable mentions. Those are my top 5 movies, and yeah. So I watched His House and Bad Hair. I kept trying to get to a review for those movies, but I just couldn't. I'm sorry. A lot is going on right now, but we're going to keep going though. We're going to. I have a good bit before a new movie comes out, so these next few videos, these next couple weeks, are going to be just about predictions and also these type videos too. So I hope you enjoy this one, and yeah, see you next time.